What is up, everybody? This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much for stopping by on this lovely, cool Wednesday afternoon slash evening. As we usually tell you guys on our Sunday shows, if any news pops up between Sunday and Wednesday, you best believe we're going to have a Wednesday show. If there isn't, then we just wait until the following Sunday, right? Well, fucking hell, you best believe there was some news out today. Maybe not the best news, but news is news, and something we want to talk about because I can guarantee you everybody's got an opinion about this news that we're going to be talking about here, and that includes us. But it is a magnificent Wednesday evening here in Las Vegas. It's finally starting to cool off. As a matter of fact, it rained a little bit. I didn't even notice when it rained. I just noticed that the ground was wet outside. But it's cooling down about damn time, finally, like really, really. And we're talking we're already in mid-November. And even then, I think we'll still have a couple of 80-degree days, 80 some odd. But we're finally getting to that point. We're starting to cool down. I got to be honest. I think we have to get over this daylight savings crap already. Like, I hate that I get off of work and the damn sun's already coming down. Like, who likes this one? I everybody likes the other one, right? Where the sun stays out longer. Everybody loves that shit, right? I don't even know one person who likes it when it gets darker earlier. So I'm not even sure why that. Oh, damn it, Andrews, you guys can't tell. Andrew's raising his hand over here. Shit, I was just having this conversation with somebody else. Like, I don't know one single person. Well, I guess I know one person now.
Miguel,
Ah.
all mechanics that work outside in early morning hours love the sun coming up at 6 a.m. We get on that roof early, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking sucks when you have to wait because the sun ain't out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, nah, I don't mind. I like it going back and forth. I know they're gonna eliminate it at some point. They almost did it this last time around, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I gotta say, if you don't like, because I hate, the flashlights and all that's cool. But they run out of charge so fast, bro. All these battery ones, they don't last yet. So yeah, I am one that likes the sun.
And it's only like 4 months, right? From like November, December, January, February, March. Like till March, because come March we switch it back. So it's like only 4 months out of the damn year, really. Like we can tough it out for 4 months, right? Everything else seems pretty damn good. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I do like that one night where we get to sleep in a little bit because we have to change. But that's pretty much it. If we don't have to go back and forth, we ain't got to worry about that. But my schedule being what it is, I get off at the time that I get off, and the sun is like, kind of. And for those of you who don't know, I do work in my house and I work in my room, and around the time that I'm getting off of work, the sun is blasting in my face through my window because it actually goes down on that side. But nonetheless, we got plenty to talk about. We already got a little bit of introduction there from from Andrew. Andrew, what's going on, dude? How's your Sunday? Or I'm so used to Sunday. How's your Wednesday evening going?
Very good. Just came off of a holiday yesterday, Veterans
Oh,
Day.
that's right. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all the veterans. Yeah, so it's like a fresh start to the week, right? And then now it's a short week. Even this morning I told my kids, have a good day. It's Monday. And everyone was all, no, it's not day. I was like, oh shit, it's not Monday. So hey, got a short week coming up, be weekend before we know it. So I'm doing good. Everything's good.
All right. That works. Yeah, I actually forgot about yesterday because I went out to go get my mail and I was like, what the fuck, there's no mail? And I was like, wow, it's unusual for there to be a holiday on a Tuesday like that, right? It doesn't happen too frequently, at least not one of those kinds of holidays. It's usually on the Monday or Friday for that matter. But it's not too common that it happens to land on a Tuesday. So that definitely will throw you off a little bit. So totally understandable there. Like I said, I went to go grab my mail and realized there was none. All right, so guys, we got stuff to talk about, right? I mean, this is usually my intro before I send it over to Andrew. We got some fight announcements. That's the primarily the news. Some fights were like, okay, I'm down. Some fights I'm like, no, but we're gonna be talking about that because I guess we can get started with the first one. Fucking, they're all fight in. Well, I should say a couple of fight announcements, some fight news. We're gonna start with the biggest one, of course. For those of you who might remember, this Friday, the 14th, was supposed to have been Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Well, everything went down with that fight. It fell through for many reasons. Definitely not the reasons that they told us. But just so happens, who's going to come in and save the day? Well, not really save the day because it's not going to happen in November. But Jake Paul did say that he was going to postpone the date and still have the fight be on Netflix and everything. Well, turns out that today we heard slash read by Mike Coppinger, who reported it of the Ring magazine, that we are going to get Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Holy hell. All right. If you guys remember a few weeks back, there was some news about AJ that he's going to be coming back to maybe like a tune-up fight at some point. And it was going to be possibly even on an undercard of a fight of someone else's fight, right? Main event. And that was kind of like, oh, really? We're going to, that's so strange. We're talking about, the guy who's supposed to be the next big thing, right? And he was for a little bit at least, and to some degree still is in the UK. But, it was weird to think like what he's going to be on the undercard and he's going to be maybe even co-main eventing. Well, that went out the window real fast because now that Gervonta Tank Davis is out the picture, in comes him. Let me go ahead and read off this quick post here from Mike Coppinger. Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are finalizing a deal for a heavyweight fight on Netflix in December in Miami. They're going to try Miami one more fucking time. Sources tell the Ring's Mike Coppinger. Paul steps up to fight the former heavyweight champion after his exhibition with Gervonta Davis was canceled. All right, so they're calling this a fight. They're not calling it an exhibition. These guys are both, I guess we can say Jake Paul is more of a cruiserweight, but just a few pounds north of that, and technically he's a heavyweight, and so is Anthony Joshua. He's a legitimate heavyweight, right? So as of right now, this fight is supposedly being finalized, and I use the word fight because I don't think it's going to be some sort of exhibition. We don't need that for this one, right? Because nobody's having to drop or go up in weight. I assume it's going to be quite similar to the Mike Tyson fight with 10-ounce gloves or 12-ounce gloves or whatever the fuck, and it's going to be maybe even 8 rounds. It won't even be a full 10. So, we talked about Gervonta and I guess maybe the chip on his shoulder that he would have had he entered this fight and not would have settled for going 10 rounds or 8 rounds with Jake Paul. He will go in there to throw down with that motherfucker, right? To show them, yeah, us short guys, we can whoop ass, right? They'll be pushing us around the fucking club, right? I don't know if Anthony Joshua's going to go in there like that. I don't know if Joshua's going to go in there with that attitude of I'm going to defend boxing. Again, this is just a preliminary talk, so we haven't heard anything from either one of these guys, but that's the word. So we're already starting to speculate how this is going to go down, what attitude AJ is going to have here. I don't know. This is a lot of unknowns here. And before I get into what other unknowns, Andrew, what was your first impression when you read that this fight is being finalized for December?
At first, I thought, oh shit, I got to give up doing the podcast. And then I remembered that was for him fighting in Stockton. That wasn't for the Jake Paul. Because this is a long shot, too. I didn't see this one coming. There's been 2 things that happened with the Jake Paul situation that I called incorrectly. And that was they wouldn't give up that fight on a civil lawsuit, which I don't think they did. But
yeah,
we got to go.
That one still kind of is true.
Right. We got to go with what they said. And then now this one. Never seen him going with Joshua. Hate to be a buzzkill, but Eddie Hearn has come out and made a statement on this fight, saying they're nowhere near being done. They're only looking at things. And he actually, inside of his little rant, he talks about during negotiations with Turkey and that they don't have a contract with Turkey, but that they're talking about some major fights in 2026. And that immediately made me think this is all just a leverage play, right? Okay. It's a sad one. Turkey, I mean, if you're listening, I know you listen to our show. I think you're laughing at the fact that they're trying to use Jake Paul as, oh yeah, if we don't want Tyson Fury, we're going to get Jake Paul. Like, what the hell? That's not a good game plan. but that's what it made me seem like this was. Look, Miguel, seriously, next month this fight's going to take place. Anthony Joshua is giving his fans, like, right before Christmas, too, a few weeks to get a trip to Miami set up. I guess they don't want no Joshua money showing up to this fight. This is going to be all Jake Paul, because we heard how good the tickets were for him and Gervonta, who's a well-known face in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Joshua, I don't know. Who's a better ticket seller right now, Miguel, in your opinion, amongst the Jake Paul fan base? Who do you think is more of a ticket seller, Gervonta Davis or
Tank?
Anthony
Of course,
Joshua?
Tank is much more well-known. Yeah, naturally.
All right, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So how could they be pulling this off in a few weeks, generating all this money? I don't know. I don't buy it. I'm gonna lean on the side that I don't buy what they announced today. This is something to do with. This is either Eddie Hearn and them trying to take a little leverage play on Turkey, which, like I said, is a sad one because it's one fight and it's an exhibition, right? I mean, seriously, like Joshua couldn't take Paul lightly. He's gonna have to knock him out, man. Anything less, you're old, you're washed. I don't see him taking the guy lightly at all if Jake Paul was assigned that. Not saying that everyone's talking about Paul fixing. I don't see Joshua and Eddie Hearn agreeing to anything less than I'm dropping your ass in 6. You're not getting up. You know what I mean? Like, there's levels to this sport, bro. We're not playing games here. You know what I mean? It's not fucking, oh, yeah, I'll just throw a jab right hand. Look what he did to Ngannou. Not to talk bad on the man, but it was a simple fucking 1-2, a feint, and then an overhand right? It was a very simple combination that took out Ngannou. I don't remember right now off the top, but I remember when it happened, like, damn, you hit him with the basics. That was the bait. You know what I mean? Ngannou went all the way out. Jake's gonna do the same shit. Hello, we've seen Jake Paul hit. We've seen him fuck up many times in the ring. So no, if Joshua takes him seriously, you're not getting past 6, right? Or I'm not doing it. I'll let you quit on your stool. I'll let the ref stop it. But the only outcome that we're fixing is Anthony Joshua stopping Jake Paul. And if you're not down for that, then I'm not down to do this. I don't see Eddie Hearn agreeing to anything else. There's not a lot of value left in Joshua. I don't see them taking a dive for Jake Paul. You guys, seriously, Jake Paul's market's not that big. He couldn't afford Gervonta.
Yeah. No, that's true. And you brought up a really good point earlier, is the time frame between now and then. 1 month. I mean, mind you, they said December. They haven't. I don't think they specified what date. So maybe we're talking about late December. Even then, that's still 6 weeks. But from now, like, they better start crack-a-lacking right now. It kind of lends a little more credibility to what Gervonta's coach or trainer was saying about his weight. About what's his name, Jake Paul's weight. Maybe it wasn't on, because he said it. He's like, no, he said it was scared out of his own hand. I can guarantee you he's not even near the weight that he's supposed to be in. That could be right, because I mean, what's the fallback? It's a heavyweight fighter, It's like, oh shit, I got this much time to get this fight done before the end of the year. I'm not on weight. Let me find a guy who's heavy. And I kind of thought about, like, what you just said about Ngannou, right? His reaction to the punches, and Jake Paul. I'm not sure Jake Paul has been in the ring with somebody that fucking big. You know what I'm saying? I think Tommy Fury was pretty big, but I mean, AJ has this very, very imposing shape to him. You know what I'm saying? So in the ring with him, I think it's another fucking story. Like, he's gonna be in there. I'm talking about Jake. Like, oh shit, like, he's gonna be intimidated. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's gonna be intimidated by at least the sheer size of Anthony Joshua. So
and the power. And the power.
Right.
Because Fury throws a garbage punch. You know what I mean? That guy, he was a windmill. Where Joshua he's landed right hands that took down Klitschko and Ngannou, two very, very heavy chin fighters. Ngannou, I believe, had never been stopped until that day. So just a whole different animal if he was to fight him. Um, but I don't, dude. Look, this is one thing I was thinking. I was like, is this guy in the gym? Is he like in fight mode? And I'm talking about Paul right now. Is he in fight mode where he's like seeing the steroids are working, right? He's all ripped. He's getting all ripped. He's beating up all the sparring partners that he pays to get beat up, right? These guys are like, don't throw a punch, he'll fire you. Oh, okay. All these sparring partners. So he's getting all this confidence. Is this him looking in the mirror and going, yeah, I can fucking take him? Seriously, guys, look at me right now. Look at what Dillian White did to him. You don't think I can land that punch? Seriously? Like, is it, dude? It would be so funny. That's why, like, Eddie Hearn's correct, bro. We'd have to like carry his nuts to the fucking ring if he takes this fight. That's how big his nuts are. If he takes this, right? Everyone's got to give him credit.
Mhm.
That's why I don't think it's happening. This dude's a little boy, bro. Like when I see Jake Paul, he's the guy in the room that's totally faking it, right? He's like the cool guy in the rich neighborhood. Then he's the guy from the streets in a rich neighborhood. But in the streets, he ain't shit. You know what I mean? That's how I see him in the boxing in the boxing world. That's how I picture him. He would have some huge nuts if he takes this fight, bro. I'd be like, all right, now I expect Joshua to knock your ass out, but you're a man for stepping up in there because you're about to get clubbed with this right hand you've never seen before.
I don't know if I'd be so fast to say that. And the only reason I would say this is to kind of contradict what you're saying about Joshua willing to take a dive. I don't think he's willing to take a dive per se, but I think he's willing to be like, yeah, I won't crack you that hard. Let's do the 8 rounds like that. So that's why I'm not entirely convinced.
I never said Joshua would take a dive.
I thought what they said earlier. You're like Joshua's not the kind of person that would give a fight.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna take a dive.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not gonna take a dive, right? And I agree, he's not gonna.
Yeah.
But what I do think he might do is be like, yeah, I'll go soft on you. Let's do 8 rounds. Let's put on a show. That kind of shit. So it's not necessarily taking a dive. It is fixing it to some degree. It is some sort of exhibition. So I think he'll do that. That's why I'm not entirely convinced that Jake Paul is even scared of AJ's power, because AJ's not going to put 100% power into that. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to do just enough. I mean, AJ's a professional here, right? He knows how to put heavy, put some heat behind a punch or take some off, take a little bit on the brakes. So I don't think he's going to go in there to fuck Jake Paul up, but I think he's going to go in there enough, sort of like when you're sparring with like a newbie and the newbie cracks you a little too hard and you're like, oh, fuck, dude, I got to check your ass. So you check him back, right? Oh, shit, hey, tone it down. We're just sparring here. One of those kind of things. I wouldn't call that, taking a dive by any stretch. Of course not. I don't think he's doing that, but I think it's going to be tempered. He's going to tempering that power. So I know we might want to give Jake Paul major props and be like, all right, well, he must have some big balls to be stepping in there, but I think it's still kind of under the table, like, bro, don't go too hard on me. Let's do 8 rounds. Let's give these people a show. I think AJ is willing to do that part at least.
It's career suicide because
if we find out about it.
Well, I mean, I think everyone's gonna know he's holding back if all he's throwing is a 1-2 and then he hugs him. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna see that AJ's holding back, just like Tyson. Remember they caught a few times where Tyson did that and then he didn't throw it, and you seen Paul was totally open, shot would have landed. It's a career ender for both, maybe too, because I think that it might be the end of the Jake Paul show. Especially you guys, I'm telling you, the word fixed and sports shouldn't be tied together right now. You know what I mean? We need to get away. Or we talked about it last time, the 2 Indian pitchers. You see, one was only for like 12 grand. The dude was only betting like 12 grand. Bro, he made in his contract like $5 million a year or something like that, Miguel. What do they do? Like, it's insane. But I won't get off track.
Was in their ear. Jeez.
Yeah. We just don't want these two things attached anymore, especially, as sports fans want to think that what we're watching is a little bit, straight up. You know what I mean? And I get it. The Jake Paul show has been entertainment from the very beginning. But I seen him lose. I've seen him get hurt. I've seen him take punches. You know, I'm telling you, that Chavez fight is a thing of beauty in the last 3 rounds, man. Like Chavez really went for it, and he starts landing on Jake. Where I seen Jake back up. I thought it was a good 3 rounds. Now the first 7 rounds or so sucked, but that's because Chavez just got out of rear. Like Chavez knew, I'm gonna let him do his thing, and then I'm gonna try to go late, and then I'll bring it on. And I thought the fight for my, did I pay for that one? Probably not. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I would have spent money on it if I knew it was going to be that entertaining.
If it had only been entertaining like that the whole fight, not just the last 3 rounds.
Yeah. So I hope it's not. Oh, but like I said, if it is fixed, as long as it's AJ by knockout, bro, he can't go to decision. They cannot go to a decision with Jake Paul. And then you're going to step in the ring with Tyson Fury right after that and ask 20 grand for ringside seats.
Well, so that's kind of one of the following questions, the follow-up questions that you mentioned it earlier. It would be, if it was obvious, and it probably would be, career suicide for Anthony Joshua. But what career? You just mentioned it. He's kind of not as valuable as he used to be anymore. So
they're saying the Fury fight. They're saying the Fury fight. The winner of Tyson Fury and him, yeah, that's what Eddie Hearn was saying, that they got a Tyson Fury fight on the table right now. And it makes sense. I mean, neither guy are doing shit. Nobody wants to see Tyson Fury and Usyk again, right?
All right.
And I think everybody in the UK wants to see Joshua. I just think that's an 80,000 plus seat fight right now. Even though both guys have lost, these are 2 legends that finally throw down. Think of like Lewis Tyson on a lower scale, but you know, it's sort of like that for the UK. So I think they make a lot more money fighting Tyson Fury and Anthony right now than Anthony makes with Jake. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous on the Jake Paul market right now because of what happened with him and Gervonta. I don't buy the civil lawsuit. I think it was more financial. And we know there's no financial burdens with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury over there in Wembley. And I don't even know if that's the big one. Is that the 80,000 seat one?
Yeah, Wembley Stadium. That's
Wembley. All right.
There's that one, and then there's the O2, but I don't know where that's at.
I think that one's 20,000.
Oh, okay.
There's one of them there's one that's not that doesn't have the 80,000 seat venue. Okay. So it's just like a regular stadium. But I want the 80,000 one. That's where I think that fight will go. And the window of opportunity is probably really close to being shut. I don't think they want to mess around with the fucking $5 million payday you're gonna make with Jake Paul. I can't even say 10 because one, the fight's in Miami. Who's paying $20,000 to sit front row in Miami? We heard the stories about all Miami sports have always done bad, right? Especially boxing out there. They gave a few examples. I think the biggest one was, is it the Alexis Aguero fight? The rematch goes out there and bombs.
I don't know if it was the rematch that bombed.
Well, Pryor, with Aaron Pryor. I believe they tried to go out there. So it seems like that would be a Vegas fight or it'd be an Anthony Joshua backyard fight because Joshua is the one pulling the real ticket prices, right? His fans know what it costs to pay to see Joshua. For Jake Paul, they're probably gonna be like, "What the fuck? You're fighting Nate Diaz last time, fool. You know what the hell is this shit?" That's another thing I don't understand. So where's Nate Diaz? Where with his his tweet calling Jake a bitch, because Nate tweeted out like last week, "I accept the offer. You're fucking dead." I thought that meant that fight was a go, and it just disappears, and I haven't heard Nate respond with anything. So I don't know what's going on with Jake Paul right now. But yeah, what happened to the Nate Diaz rematch? They said was already signed.
As far as Nate Diaz go, the last I heard, and I haven't heard it directly from him after that tweet of "you're dead," that supposedly Netflix immediately said, "No, fuck this. I'm not doing
Oh,
Nate." So
wow.
I remember reading it was Netflix who was like, "This is not going to happen. Fuck Nate." So I don't know if Nate has said anything or has posted anything on social media since then, but it was literally right as they were debating or trying to like figure out who was going to be the replacement by keeping the same date and everything, and his name popped up. At last I read, Netflix said no, no for Nate Diaz. So yeah.
It's very interesting. They would accept a fucking almost 60-year-old Mike Tyson, but they wouldn't accept Nate Diaz rematch. You would think that Nate Diaz had a little bit of viewership behind him, coming from, being he's an MMA legend. You don't even have to say the UFC. He's just a legend, right?
Mhm.
So that's kind of weird that Netflix would say no to that. And maybe the Netflix guy is just a boxing fan. Who knows?
Yeah, or maybe he's a Nate Diaz fan. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to see him get his ass beat again. Shit, let's just call it a day and let's not do that. So just to confirm, you're thinking this is just a ruse, like this is just smoke and mirrors, like this isn't going to actually happen. It's really more so to get leverage for AJ in Saudi Arabia or AJ in Fury or who exactly? Like
Just AJ over Turkey. Because see, right now they don't have a contract with him.
Okay.
Right? So they're just trying. And listen, I'm only saying this because Eddie Hearn said what he said on, we don't have a contract with them, but we are talking for a few fights in 2026, Tyson Fury being one of them.
Hmm.
To me, that immediately said Hearn was playing this as a leverage play, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't sound excited. He didn't have the little sparkle in his eye when he talks about Anthony Joshua and all the millions he's going to make. Usually you could tell on his face. He didn't have any of that. Basically just told everyone nothing's done yet. They're just looking, long ways to go, yada. Nothing to what that post from the Ring magazine, what's his name?
Mike Coppinger. Yeah.
Coppinger. Nothing like what his tweet said. I think if his tweet or his post was real, Eddie Hearn would have been a lot more excited about this fight.
That's true. Yeah.
His guy is gonna massacre this dude, man. I know
Yeah.
and Eddie even said it. Eddie goes, "We're not playing around. Anthony Joshua is not playing around." So
right. Yeah, that's why I thought maybe this would be legit because I mean, yeah, granted, Hearn didn't exactly sound as excited per se, but or at least as excited as what we thought would be. I mean, like, well, this is an easy payday and you can knock this fucking clock off. Yeah, why not? But it was more. It seemed very nonchalant when every time I hear him talk about it, he's like, yeah, we could just do this and that. Yeah, why not? Yeah. It was one of those kind of things like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't kind of thing. Instead of them maybe pushing it to, I don't know, maybe reestablish to some degree Anthony Joshua. And I mean, really, he doesn't have a market here in the U.S., right? But if this fight goes through and he's down in Miami and he knocks the living piss out of Jake Paul, that would put his name on the map. Granted, it won't be like what it could have been had he done his whole career here. But bottom line is he can still, make something of himself. I mean, shit, he comes and he knocks the snot out of Anthony or out of Jake Paul, which is American. And as we've always said, UK guys always want to see our American guys get their ass whooped. So do this over here, then go back to the UK to do a fight with Fury. That's a pretty good, end of the career kind of type of money. Damn, I don't know. When I saw this, I was like, and we talked about possibly Ngannou being in the picture, right? And even Ngannou afterwards come out and saying like, dude, don't even say my name, fool, because we haven't even talked, don't even fucking throw my name out there. But immediately we thought, I thought, I was like, that'd be fucking crazy if he does it. You're like, man, this fucker's not doing it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I guess he's not really going to do that. But then he comes against somebody who's even more dangerous than Anthony Joshua. Like, oh shit. That's why I'm a little skeptical. You skeptical that this fight is going to go through. I'm skeptical that this fight is going to be legit. It'll go through, but it won't, I don't know if it'll be legit. But damn, what a turnaround, huh? From fucking.
And remember, I've been wrong twice so far on Jake Paul, so I'm not fucking solid with this guy right now. I don't know. We're not seeing eye to eye, but I just don't like Eddie. When I seen Eddie Hearns, I probably would have had a different attitude if I didn't see the Eddie Hearn interview, right? But with that interview, it kind of tells me that they're playing games. We'll see when it's official.
What do you think about or at least this Coppinger post saying it's going to be in Miami? There's where the fight with Gervonta was supposed to have been. Is it a matter of maybe too short or too little time to be able to move a fight to a different venue? And they already had, I don't know, their deposit already there. Said, fuck it, we'll just do it there, I guess. Just postpone it to a different date. Or because we suspect that the fucking tickets weren't selling with somebody as popular as Gervonta. Now with someone less popular here in the U.S., at least an AJ, to do it there in Miami again seems kind of dumb. But I mean, what do you think about it still being in Miami?
It is a dumb move because I don't think the money changes. Look, AJ might not be known in America, but he's known globally. That man makes his 20 million per fight. He makes his 15 million per fight, right?
Yeah.
So how is Jake? Jake's not getting a break on the finances taking on Anthony. Like I said, now we're talking, if we go a month out from today's November 12th, right?
Yes.
So we're talking 2 weeks before Christmas. You're going to be asking the fans of Miami to drop a few grand to watch an exhibition fight. And you think people are really going to be like, hey, you know what? I know I wanted to go to Christmas. I know I wanted to do a good Christmas this year, but I've really always wanted to see Jake Paul take on Anthony Joshua. How much are those seats? Because, dude, Miguel, these seats are going to be expensive, bro. You got two guys both wanting to make 10 million. We're 20 million in debt. Netflix ain't pitching in the money. We know that now because they didn't want I don't know how they didn't want Gervonta. I don't know I don't know what the hell happened there besides financial reasons that thing got blown up. So, but Netflix didn't want him, right? You're going to take Anthony Joshua in lesser time and try to make this money, or Netflix is going to give you a bonus? I don't see it. I do not see it happening. So, yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. Watch, it'll be like a day or two. This rumor probably doesn't even stay. I wanted to actually look. I'm going to look when you go on to the next one. I'm going to look throughout the show because I don't think this one's going to stay out there long. It just doesn't make sense. Turkey should have responded already, like laughing or some shit. You know what I mean? Like just put a bunch of emojis of you laughing at these guys. Like, yeah, Jake Paul, that's a great future.
Right. It's like, yeah, Jake Paul back in Miami that didn't fucking show you any love. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and a month from now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And from what this says, it's going to be on Netflix, right? So it's going to be free. So wouldn't people just like during the holidays just want to stay home and watch shit and not have to pay money to go somewhere else? You know, it's already bad enough that, you know, it's going to be expensive. But then around the times of the holidays, who the fuck is going to, you know, I mean, other than his homies, his YouTube homies are going to, you know, have a fucking Christmas in the damn arena pretty much. And they haven't, you know, specified as far as date goes, but I would have to imagine it would have to be more than a month from now. So we're talking maybe, you know, let me see if I can pull up my calendar here real quick. I'm going to December. A month from now is the 12th. So we're looking at the 20th maybe of December, which is a Saturday. That's like that close to, you know, if we're going to do that. I don't know. Seems pretty far fetched. I don't know. It reeks of desperation. It reeks of desperation. So let's hope that this doesn't go down. You know, but if it does, you know,
by Coppinger or by Jake Paul, which one? Because I gotta say, man, he pulled the trigger kind of fast on that post too. Like, you know, it's being finalized. Really? Because his promoter, they just asked him, and he said they're nowhere even close. He could have just probably made a phone call, sent a text. I don't know. I'm sure he got a few thousand hits by putting that out there like that. So, you know, just the way the media is nowadays.
You just jumped the gun on that one.
Just a tad, right? By saying it's almost finalized, and then Eddie Hearn's like, we're nowhere even close.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know who to believe at that point. I mean, the guy who's in his circle is going to most likely know. We suspect, right? And Eddie Hearn, you would think he would know more so than the Coppinger. But all right, let's play it out and let's see how it goes. I'm sure there's going to be some more information if it really is in the process of finalizing. We should probably know by the end of the week. I suspect, maybe, you know, as early as next week, maybe. But no more than a week from now, I have to assume we're going to know whether or not this is going to go down or not, because we are rapidly approaching December, and there's only so much time left. So there's going to be some decisions that have to be made very, very quickly, either yay or nay, or hell, maybe even do it for January. I don't know. I don't get why it needed to be December exactly, but they could have. I don't see why they couldn't have just pushed it for January, I should say, instead of December. But we'll see what happens within the next few days here, because there's going to be some news. We have to assume very shortly here. All right, so um, going on to another fight that now, God damn it. So now I don't know if this fight's going to happen, for crying out loud. Recently, it has been reported that Ortiz's, or Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s manager, if I can get his name right, because I follow him on Instagram, Rick Merrigan, if I can pronounce that properly, said on Instagram that the contract that they're to receive has to be $10 million minimum to, or it won't get looked at at all. So earlier in the week, we were pretty excited on Sunday when we were recording of the possibilities of a Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. fight going down in early 2026. Now it seems as though there's a price tag on this here. Now, this could be just Virgil Ortiz's manager saying this, right? We don't know if it's from Ortiz himself or from Golden Boy or whomever, or who the fuck, where this money's coming from. Most likely Turkey. Turkey can fit the bill. Can foot the bill. Sorry, he can definitely foot the bill. That's not a problem. But whether or not he's willing to is another story, of course. And I don't know if these guys are going to want to go that route. I keep seeing interviews from different people, and specifically Hearn, about whether or not that's the kind of money that they want to go with, and then they're going to have to be basically at the mercy of Turkey al-Sheikh, or they can kind of make it work by their own for lesser money, still a good amount of money, but lesser, between just Matchroom and Golden Boy, without Turkey al-Sheikh involved and his money, his greedy ass dirty money. This seems pretty bad. We come off of this high of this weekend of like, oh fuck, this fight's gonna go down, to now we're no more than 4 or 5 days later, we're already having doubts of whether or not this fight's going to take place. Andrew, is this fight already falling apart before it even gets off the fucking ground?
It wasn't a good start this week to negotiations, right? If that was the beginning of negotiations, was don't call me unless it's 10 million on the table, terrible start. Look, we all went. It's really weird. You know how we were calling Boots industry plant?
Yeah.
When this fight gets announced or the face-off happens last Saturday, right after last Saturday, didn't it seem like the whole boxing world kind of had Virgil as the favorite? I heard it so many times. Oh, he has a better resume. I heard Teddy Atlas say some shit. What we were talking about, his last 3 opponents make him the best non-title fighter in the boxing world, right? Non-champion in the boxing world. He should be ahead of Boots, because of that, because of this. How the hell is Boots on the pound for pound list and not Virgil Ortiz then?
Good question, Ray Magazine, Mike Coppinger.
Industry plant. You know what I'm saying? Like, weird.
He's like one of the last industry plants from PBC. Before PBC, had any more stars, he was the last one. Granted, he left to come to Matchroom, but he came with that, basically. That was like the last one.
Came with that little title, like they're all avoiding him. Then we found out we weren't. They were kind of avoiding people themselves. And now we're at this point where this dude's on the pound for pound ranking and getting straight butchered. In reality, talking about you're not as good. You haven't even proved what Ortiz has proved. Ortiz's last 3 opponents are better than anyone on your resume. It's just weird. With that being said, Ortiz doesn't deserve 10 million either, right? I gotta agree with Eddie on this one. How about we just go sit down at a table as 2 guys that are the best in the division and see where the money lays out, right? Let's just see how it plays out. Maybe you do a winner takes the bigger percentage, right? Because They are. It like sucks. Eddie's right. Boots has been undisputed. No, or unified.
Unified,
Unified.
yeah. He's technically the lineal champion because he got the vacant belt after, or the vacant IBF belt after Crawford moved up to 154. So he got the IBF belt. He beat Stanionis, who was the WBA champ. I don't remember specifically, but anyway, he unified those, and technically, Ring decided to give him the lineal title, the Ring Magazine Championship. So that is a unified champ. They didn't unify all the belts, but that was enough.
And it is a lot, right? I mean, it speaks for something, right?
Sure.
So they got to award him for that. It was not a good start. I didn't like that it was Ortiz's camp this time. That, hey, look, if that's my manager and he's speaking out of line, like I didn't talk to him, I got to fire this man today because you're making me look like a punk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't have us chasing this dude for fucking year. Or however long these two have been going at each other's necks. And then finally, right on the fucking brink of getting it actually done, we're going to start demanding money that I don't even know if is really there right now. I really don't. Because once again, people, we're not talking about 10 million as a total pot. We're talking about 10 million to one fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even the guy that's unified in boxing or has unified. So what are we paying that guy? And then what are we paying the undercard? Boy, you got big dreams for this fight in Texas. I'll tell you that.
And I almost, so it was him also, his manager, who said that he would much rather have, let me go back to that fucking post of Spence and Ortiz. Let me see if I can pull that up here real quick. But this is the same. I'm almost positive it's the same fucking manager, right? It's the same one. Let me see. Let me go back to that. Here we go. Yeah, it's him, exactly. He says, I think Ortiz versus Spence at Cowboys Stadium, biggest Texas matchup in history, and Charlo versus Boots as co-main event, and the winners fight each other. Just might be fire. He put the little flame emoji. Makes sense. Charlo and Boots both turned down Ortiz. Is this a ploy? Is he saying, look, we want 10 mil because we know we can get 10 mil over here with Spence and fucking Cowboy Stadium because they're both Texans, right? Does he legitimately think like he can get that amount from Spence or like a Spence fight as opposed to this? So they can almost use that as leverage. Like, we don't have to fight y'all. We can fight Spence for the same amount of money, but I'm not going to take, this fight for no one less than 10 or whatever. It seems like a leverage, a bargaining tool that is going to blow up in their face.
All Oscar has to do is call Al Heyman and go, how much guaranteed money do you have on Spence right now? And he's going to go, yeah, I'll talk to you later, man. That guy's looking for a retirement check. He ain't looking for no guaranteed money. Mm-hmm. Right? He's looking for a handout. Please, will you fight me? Spence is no fucking mainliner anymore. That main event limelight.
Even in Texas. Yeah.
It wouldn't even be the biggest fight Texas ever put on, bro. I bet you De La Hoya, Carpentier, and Canelo versus, who did Canelo do 46,000 with in Texas? Austin?
John Ryder? Oh, no. Was it
Trout?
Austin Trout? It might have been Alamo Dome. Was it Alamo Dome in San Antonio?
Might have been, bro. But he did a lot, too. He came like right under Oscars, I believe. Or he got more than Oscar.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Because remember him and Jerry Jones, they do like 60,000 or something there.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Yeah, damn. And Oscar does 46,000 with Carpentier. I don't even think those two would beat those two fights. I really don't. Talking about the biggest in Texas. These guys aren't even from Texas. They have bigger fights than you. Stop it. Like, it's a dream. That fight was 2-3 years ago, maybe. You know what I mean? It's a dream. It's a pipe dream now. Stop it. Look, like I said last week or on Sunday, I just like that Spence kind of looks like he's in a better place in life right now. He did not look glassy-eyed. His eyelid wasn't all droopy. And, I mean, anyone who drinks or smokes knows that you will lose your muscle, right? When you're drinking and that. Was that what Spence was fucking? Was he just drunk and high in all of his, interviews back in the day, just partying up? Hey, look, the guy came out himself and said he wished he didn't drink, tells all the young kids not to drink. And, bro, he looked pretty clear-eyed.
Yeah,
in his last
or
interview.
meds for that matter. Meds, because mind you, that accident was pretty serious. So maybe he got hooked on fucking pain meds for a little bit. That's a very possible thing.
And he had another totaled accident after that Lamborghini one. Remember that? He totals
Did he?
he totals a truck, I believe. Yeah.
Mm.
It might not have been his fault, but the fact is that he was in another horrendous accident where one of the cars was totaled. You know what I mean? It was like, damn, did he have anything, So either way, I like how he looked. Look, the report came out that they're going to talk to Roy Jones, so I guess he's making a comeback. It looked like Roy Jones is going to go work with them a little.
Mm-hmm.
With all that being said, he's on a comeback trail.
Sure.
This isn't I'm just going to come back and fight for 10 million. These PBC guys are insane, bro, and it's not their fault. This is what Al did to them. Al Heyman overpaid these guys. We know for a fact they were being overpaid because Al was fucking double ending the deal. He could pay him whatever he wanted. He had the money. He was the money. And these guys, they're delusional on what they think they're worth. Oh yeah, well I fought such and such for 5 million. So how am I gonna not make 10 million if I fight the champ? It's like, no, bro, you were overpaid. When you talk, I wish I was in the numbers. I wish I was a fly on the wall when Al Heyman was working those fucking deals out with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the percentage was he taking when he was paying these guys, $3 million a fight on fucking Fox? It's not their fault. It's Al Heyman's fault. It's the PBC's fault for making them delusional. So yeah, I don't know if the money's there.
And it sucks that this, I was really, and mind you, when it comes to Ortiz and Boots, I was gonna go for Ortiz because I thought Ortiz would do it. I think I know everyone's making a big deal out of Boots, like he is just the next coming, but. I think Ortiz beats him. I think Ortiz beats him pretty convincingly. And when they were in the ring, kind of bickering at one another, and shit got a little spicy. I was like, oh fuck yeah, the shit talk starting. And a lot of what was coming out of Ortiz's mouth was basically like trying to check Boots. Like, Boots would say something. He's like, no, remember it was you who said that shit first. And then Boots would say something. He's like, no, it does matter. He was like checking him hard. I was like, oh fuck yeah, put his ass in his place. And in the end, Boots was like, oh, it doesn't matter because we're doing it now, and even Ortiz threw in one last one. It's like, no, it does matter, because you got to get the fucking story right. So that kind of made him look like, oh fuck yeah, this dude is like holding it down. He's putting his foot
ready.
Down.
Yeah.
And then this comes out and it's like, dude, are you hiding behind the fucking check? Damn it. We're just really, really starting to get behind you. I won't say starting, but this contradicts that, and now it kind of taints things. So I'm hoping that it wasn't really him or Golden Boy or his team to say that. It was just maybe his manager that's just decided to take to social media and decided to say this stuff. And I'm hoping, Ortiz calls him up like, hey, what the relax, motherfucker. And he's like, I'm just trying to get you more money. It's like, motherfucker, you talk to me first, fool, and then we can fucking talk. You don't just go out and do that shit.
We are gonna know in a few hours.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right?
Like, yep. Yeah, that's true.
You might see Oscar go, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I got 2 words for Ortiz's manager. Yeah, man. Fuck him.
He's like boxing managers, do we need them in boxing, guys? The way he talks, that Oscar has that same tone always. Do we need him, guys? Do we need him? And he always has that like high at the very end. It's like, how many times we gotta tell you, Dana? What is this scumbag? And it's that shit over and over.
You're doing really good, bro. That's really good, Oscar. Yeah.
That's his like at the very end. He always does that shit at the very end. But oh man, yeah, we're gonna find out very soon. How accurate that is, unless he skips it, because he does every so often skip Thursdays, right? But let's hope that he has something to say about it.
He better not.
Not this time, at least. Not this time.
I know him and Turkey listen to the show together. I'm telling you right now, bro.
Right.
You better not fucking skip Clapback Thursdays when your boy is looking a little soft right now.
Yeah. I mean, even from before the fight, when Oscar was saying that, he heard that Hearn and Boots were going to be in the arena, he's like, y'all stay home. You better stay home. And they showed up. So then even Oscar in the ring says, I'm surprised they even showed up, So like, okay, so now it seems as though these guys are the ones that are drawing the line in the sand and saying, all right, fuck yeah, go ahead and cross this line right there. The shot callers, in other words. And then this happens. So yeah, I'm hoping Oscar comes out with something. Be like, no,
I-
unless you hear from my mouth or Virgil's, it ain't fucking happening.
If he echoes the manager about Spence and him being the biggest fight in Texas, we're done. It's over. It's going to be them two in Texas.
Well, this is I want to pull up this post here that I got real quick in regards to I think an Instagram or not Instagram, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, from Dan Rafel, right? So someone says, I'm going to be so disappointed if Ortiz fights Spence first or instead. And then Dan Rafel responds to that saying, not going to happen. Per source, DAZN, which has dibs on Ortiz's fights, will not allow that fight to happen. DAZN is exerting intense pressure on Golden Boy to get the Ennis fight done. Whew, okay,
That's good.
That sounds good, right? That's like a little more relief. All right, cool. We ain't talking no fucking Spence bullshit. Who the hell? What I mean, for crying out loud, I think the sanctioning body, I think it was the WBC, wouldn't even sanction Fundora and Spence at that moment, or WBO, whatever the fuck it was, because of his condition, right? It's like he's been out for a while. This is his comeback kind of thing. If they wouldn't do that, they're gonna do Ortiz. Bad idea. But yeah, according to Dan Rayfield, at least it sounds as though Oscar and Virgil are getting a lot of pressure from DAZN saying, no, we're gonna get this Boots fight done. So that's promising. Huh?
Yep, I like that a lot because they already went through the BS with the Canelo Triple G third fight. Remember that? They didn't. They wanted to pull that trigger a lot earlier than what.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So this one, they might be going, no, we're not waiting. We're not. No one's gonna get old. Spence has already shown his age. They're done with that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So fingers crossed. Let's hope none of that bullshit goes down, because God knows how many times we've been, fucking like hooked on like a damn fish on the fucking hook, right? Thinking that we're gonna get a fight and it ends up not happening. All right. So on the subject of PBC, if you guys remember, back in May, I think it was, there was a double header with Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo on the undercard. And please forgive me if I get the Charlos mixed up, because I forget which one's Jermel and which one's Jamal. But as far as I can recall doing my research, Jamal is the 160-pound and now 168-pound Charlo. And they fought on the same card, with Charlo being the co-main event and Caleb Plant fighting in the main event. Well, it was there was an understanding that as long as both of those fighters won, they would face one another down the line. Well, turns out Caleb Plant unfortunately didn't win. Great performance by his opponent, Armando Resendiz, by the way, and earned himself a victory over Plant. So we thought, okay, well, damn it, there goes that fight. PBC said, not so fast, guys. We're going to make it happen anyway. So it was recently reported that we're going to get Charlo and Caleb Plant at some point next year, probably the first quarter, as most fight announcements are saying. I get it. I get it. There's a grudge match, right? This is a grudge match kind of thing. These guys have beef with one another and they want to settle it in the ring, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just kind of, we kind of missed the point. They were going to have their doubleheader to prep, and then that didn't go down. Well, I mean, but Caleb Plant didn't do his part, so to speak, and he lost. I wouldn't have mind seeing Resendiz, for fuck's sake, against Charlo. That would have been pretty dope. I mean, give the guy credit. He's been kind of MIA since. But PBC said, no, we're going to make this happen anyway. Let's just go ahead and proceed as plans. It had Caleb Plant won. I'm going to watch the fight. Of course, I know there's beef between them and there's a lot of things that have been said outside of the ring and they want to settle it in the ring. Cool. But they could have just done that from the beginning and not no fucking like setup fight to possibly, this is one of the reasons why we don't want to see, Boots fight anybody else or Ortiz fight anybody else, because right now the iron is hot and it's time to make that fight happen. They could have made Charlo and Plant some time ago and it didn't happen, but turns out we're gonna get that fight. All right, I guess I don't know. I'm kind of I feel a little bit deflated. Had this fight been announced back in May and that fight would have happened, I would have been down with that. But they have these two fights, these prep fights to set up, and those don't go as planned. It just seems very forced, right? So. You heard about this, right? Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant. What are your thoughts on them forcing this fight? Pretty much, PBC. I mean,
It it has now. Look, it's not the same level of financial gain,
Hmm.
but it reminds me of when Zahir Rahim beat Morales,
Oh,
and they go with Pacquiao Morales anyways, and don't give Zahir his shot. Man, he was like, nah. I like the guy that stands in front of you a little bit better. Anyways, it just hey, you were right. They forced it. They forced that one. They're forcing this one. Um, it's it's old school, right? In one sense that Caleb Plant is nowhere near being done. He had a bad night. Back in the day, we used to see guys. There was a lot of guys fighting each other, right? And they all had losses against each other, except for like Chavez, who would dominate the division. But most of the guys had losses amongst each other, right?
hmm.
Whitaker beat Mayweather. Mayweather beats Ramirez, or Ramirez beats Whitaker. You know, they all were going
Yeah.
back and forth. Edwin Rosario's in there; he gets some losses. Back in the day, it was not hard. Look at the four kings over at with Leonard and Duran and Hagler and them. So it's not a bad thing that he's fighting Plant or Charlo immediately after a loss. I'm interested. I'll watch it. It's not a mega fight. It at one point could have been a mega fight. It's not that anymore. It's but it is still a very good fight. It's one that I'll watch. You know, hopefully it's not the main event of a card that doesn't live up
Well,
to.
you know it's gonna be. I mean, I
Is it
hope they're not
really?
gonna. I mean, no, well, it doesn't say anything about that. But I mean, that's the whole point of their previous card is that they were gonna go on
Damn.
and fight in some main event. I mean, really, with as few events that PBC is putting on, and you know how many fewer stars they had from before. I mean, really, they're not gonna have that many left. You know what I'm saying? So I
See,
doubt, huh?
Uh, yeah. What I was saying was like this is a throwback to like a great fight on the undercard. Should I put that in there?
This is a
This is
great card. This is a great card opener. If it'll be on pay per view, it'll open the pay per view. You know, it's the first fight of the card. Right?
I'll give it a co-main, bro. But
Yeah.
we have Gervonta's return or some shit. Hell, we
Yeah.
gotta have something above it, man. It can't be Danny Garcia and then Plant in Charlo, dude. I don't want that one. We know it's not gonna be Benavides. You know what I mean? They're gone. Um, Cruz is on his own main event. He's gone. Venezuela, he just lost, right? I don't even know if he
Mhm.
fights for Al Heyman anymore, but he just lost. Yeah, I don't know who they're going to put on the undercard that's still available for PBC, but yeah, that sucks if L thinks we're going to spend 70. Damn, I changed my whole tone on the fight. Damn, you can't have this as a main event and expect 70. You really can't. It's not
Mhm.
that fight.
Or if you're going to do main event, put it on the free, you know, Amazon Prime. They still have the
Amazon
Amazon
Prime.
Prime deal.
Yeah,
That's going to be a solid, you know, boxing after dark type of card, right? Like I'm down with that.
excellent.
I'm good with that.
Excellent.
But as far as like forking up, because I don't remember the last time PBC had a fucking free card, but you know, they're going to do pay-per-views. I'm hoping they don't go that direction here. I mentioned Resendiz earlier, who defeated Plant. I'm reading here as I'm going through that there are talks of him and Berlanga in a possible fight. Berlanga isn't a PBC guy. That it'd be kind of cool if they're on the same card. I don't know if this will be the main event anyway, but point is, I was saying earlier that Resendiz kind of been MIA, and now I read that he might be fighting Berlanga. But back to Plant and Charlo. Yeah, I mean, it's already bad enough that they're forcing this one. I hope they don't force it into a pay-per-view main event. Gervonta comeback sounds good, you know, when he comes back with whomever it is, because there's plenty of time between now and then, right? They're saying early 2026. Well, there's plenty of time for Gervonta to come back, get his shit straight, and then fight whomever the fuck in early 2026. So I'm hoping something like that happens. But when I see this, and there's no talks as far as like, you know, whether or not pay-per-view or main event or anything like that yet. But we knowing pay-per-view, I mean knowing PBC, that they do pay-per-view often and very few free fights. And you know, this is an in-house type of fight, two BBC fighters. They're gonna go 12 rounds, most likely. I'm not forking up no 65, $70 for that. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna roll.
Right. And the return of Zoo. You don't want the return of Zoo to be
Um,
yeah, a whole bunch of returning. Jesus, anyone winning out there?
Yeah, I mean, this is I don't know. This is what kind of state are we in that everybody's like, yeah, I can make a comeback. Yeah, there aren't that many people with tough guys out there. I can make a comeback. Sure, why not?
I just was I'm looking for news. I told you I'm going to be looking for the breaking news on Joshua. You seen there's something about, did you see what I sent you on the Joshua on Facebook?
I did. I have it right here. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and read this here real quick from Ariel Helwani. It says, "I'm really shocked that Anthony Joshua would take a fight with Jake Paul. On the other hand, if he's earning 50 million to go to Netflix and leave the zone for a fight, I understand." It's a pretty exaggeration. I don't think it's gonna be that amount. But anyway, the cradle of money that these guys earn is extraordinary at this stage in their careers, and you probably wouldn't say no to it anyway. On another level, I don't think it should be sanctioned. So yeah, and that's it was this guy who actually said it. It was Ariel Helwani who posted it. So let me correct that. It was Ariel Helwani who posted it, but he had quotes on it because he was quoting somebody else, Gareth Davies, Gareth A. Davies, who's like a reporter for the UK. He's popular over there. Everybody knows him over there. So it was him that was quoting this, and it was just Ariel Helwani posting it on his page.
Yeah, look, that's why I looked at that 50 million, because that reporter, he's pretty inside with all them UK guys, he travels with them. So I'm guessing that he could at least make a phone call. Did he get that number? Like, is that the number being thrown around right now at Netflix? Because look, that's going to really piss off Riyadh, Turkey Ali, Sheik.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to get his way, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you start throwing around 50 million for one fight, that might piss him off. Like, oh, so we're gonna have to pay you guys over that to get you back over to Riyadh? That now he's not getting what he wants, right? So that's gonna make him an enemy, most likely, to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, I don't know, man. That's a lot of money, you guys. I don't know if I, can't knock Joshua for. That's why they're fighting in a month too. Joshua was like, "What? 50 million? I'll fight you tomorrow." What the fuck? send the contract. We're his own. That's a $50 million sparring match in his eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
In real life or in a fixed world, it's a sparring match. Either way you look at it for him. So 50 million. Why I'm shocked at that number too, Miguel, is what does that get you? All right, 50 million. We just signed Joshua for 50 million. Is that really for just one night, or are they signing him to a multi-fight deal on Netflix?
Well, according to what I mean, and again, this is just his quote, and he doesn't know, right? But his example that he throws out there, the 50 million bucks, he says if he's earning $50 million to go to Netflix and leave the zone for a fight, I understand. So, I mean, either he's just saying for a fight, as in that's the totality of that one contract, just one fight, or if he's saying it just casually, like, oh yeah, for a fight. Not necessarily a long-term contract, but just the first fight of maybe a contract or something like that, right? I don't know. I don't know where he just pulled that number out of nowhere. I don't know, but I highly doubt it's going to be $50 million.
We would have to look. We would have to look at what Netflix subscription is in the UK. I wonder if AI Google can tell us how many, because that could be there. We're going to make this 50 million back in one night too, and they will.
All right, let's see what I can find here. England specifically, or I mean, England or just UK in general?
UK in general, yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Subscriptions in the UK.
It takes a wider range.
Oh, it's just giving me the fees. It's not giving me the totals. God damn it. Never mind.
How many subscribers did you put?
Oh, subscribers. Like no, I put subscriptions. How about subscribers?
Yeah.
All right. Subscribers. All right. Let's see what AI stands here. October 8th, household taken quarterly. God damn, it's not even giving me a straight answer. It takes me to a damn article. Damn it, the fuck. Yeah, it is not giving me any specific numbers yet. Netflix continues to dominate UK streaming landscape with well, what the hell? I have to subscribe to this damn thing to even give me the answer. What the fuck? This is weird. It's like blanking out. It says million, but it doesn't specify how many because it gets blocked out because apparently I have to have a subscription to this website for me.
Okay.
All right.
So what I found, Miguel.
Yes.
as of mid 2025, Netflix has an estimated 17.6 million households in the UK. Oh my God, they're gonna pay Anthony Joshua 50 million. Bro, they're making that back. 31 million subscribers globally or in America?
No. Oh shit. Oh, that I don't know.
Right?
Oh, I don't know that one, yeah.
Because if only 17 million of that is coming from the UK, woo, they got a lot of people they can be pulling in from the UK. Netflix probably sitting back like, what are we doing here? Let's get the white boy and get his head knocked off, and they're gonna all celebrate. Netflix, I know you listen. That's what's gonna happen. All them UK guys are gonna be like, he's fighting Jake Paul. Yeah, we just gotta subscribe to Netflix. $25, dude. They're making 50 million that night.
Yeah,
easy. It's gonna happen.
Damn.
If Jake,
we went from like this fight ain't really happening, then now it's like, wait a second, I think it's gonna happen. Yeah.
17.6 million subscribers. Oh, they got some people they can pull in on this one.
Damn, let me see here. 17 times, what was it, like $25? Oh yeah. That times $24 each, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, wow. All right. Well, yeah, I mean that I'm sure they can figure that out.
They can figure that out. Fuck yeah. They're gonna pay Jake just with his American views, right? Mm-hmm. They're gonna pay Jake just with his subscribers he got with Tyson. Here's your money, kid. The fuck out of here. Come here, Anthony, my baby. Oh, they hugged him when he walked in. He's the one that's gonna break us in the UK. Think about it, bro. I bet you those subscriptions go up after if this fight really does take place. Now, look, I still think December's pushing it. Let's hope they pull it to the January because I don't like the December thing. But whatever. Those subscriptions go up 25 million homes, 30 million homes after that fight's done because everyone is just going to want to watch the fight, and that isn't a lot of money to get Netflix. And you're getting so much more. You really are.
But that does mean that they're taking away from the ticket sales, no? I mean, no one's going to want to fork up 20 grand or 10 grand, 15 grand for a front row seat. They would much rather fork up $25 and stay home.
You are Jake Paul's representative. I'm Netflix. That's Jake Paul's fucking problem. Call Joshua.
Get Josh on the phone. Get Josh on the phone, guys.
They don't give a shit about ticket sales, bro. That's like HBO. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit about ticket sales. They want subscriptions. And that's why this fight is being mentioned. That 17.6 million subscribers. Boy, do they have a lot to... There's a lot of eating that can get taking place over there.
Okay, so that kind of puts into question a little bit more the Fury fight. Then, I mean, if he's going to go this direction, if he's going to go through with this, I mean, well, I guess that would make that fight even bigger, I suppose, right? I mean, geez.
Yes, it makes that fight bigger because Canelo and Turkey and Crawford already worked with Netflix. That means they'll reach out across the table again, maybe work with them again. Now, DAZN might be fucked because I'm telling you. You don't tell Turkey what to do, right? DAZN can't wait. They're going to walk in and go, hey, what are you opening? Like, shut up. Get out of here. You guys are small. These guys are big. I'll be back later. I'm going to go with my side chick, and I'll come home when I come home.
And when I come home, dinner better be ready, all right, for me and my side chick. It should be outside. She wanted some leftovers.
She wants a plate, too. That's fucked up.
Yeah, she wants a hot plate, too, okay?
They haven't done that one in the movie yet. Yeah. So anyways, fucking yes. So no, dude, it makes it all bigger, right? Because now Netflix might be interested in working with Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury on there, and if they really are paying 50 million for one fight, you know, Turkey and them are going to be a little bit interested. It takes a little bit of the stress off of them, right? And they only grow because Netflix won't care that it's in Riyadh either. Right? So then Turkey gets to lock that up because all Netflix is caring about is subscriptions.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. So you film it from, I was going to say bumfucked Egypt, and now it's really bumfucked Egypt. You can film it from
Well, according to Coppinger, they're saying Miami, but it would be smart for them to go to.
Oh no,
to
I'm talking about the future.
oh,
Fury
gotcha,
versus.
gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you meant this one. Got it.
No, yeah, I'm saying if Turkey wanted to work with these guys, it's doable because they're really not caring about location of fights. Yep.
All right. Oh man. Well,
That was
kind
breaking
of
news, bro. Yeah, that was
yeah,
breaking
right.
news.
That kind of threw us for a loop there. I mean, that just shows you how important Jamal Charlo and Caleb Hunt is, I suppose. Right? But not much more to say about
If
that
it's
one.
on the undercard.
Yeah. If it's a card opener, if it's a pay-per-view opener, you know, gives us enough time to go grab some fucking popcorn and back to your seat before the fight starts.
That's their fault.
One more here fight announcement that I saw popped up recently. Christian Mbilli is going to step back into the ring after that draw that he had recently, who was the fighter whose name I can't pronounce at the moment or remember. But apparently he's going to be taking on Jaime Mungia. That's a dangerous one there. You know, Mungia coming off of the suspension, everything, and you know, supposedly his name's cleared. But that victory, I'm not sure. Was that victory overturned after all? No, right? I mean, that victory over Suras after because they had the rematch, right? So I think that's when he tested positive for whatever banned substance. But I don't think they overturned that one.
No, it did get overturned.
Oh, it did get overturned.
Yes, there is no drug with positive test connected to Mungia anymore. They're saying that it was like a tainted test, I believe. Yeah, he got cleared.
Okay. So by saying it got cleared, that victory stands. He's got the victory with Suras, right? Like they didn't change that to a no contest or no bullshit like that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it ever made it to that point because they cleared him. Yeah, because they cleared him before. Yep.
All right. So it seems as though we're getting another fight in the first quarter. Now, the fact that Coppinger is kind of announcing these fights in the early 2026, I have to assume some of them aren't going to be landing on the same fight card. I have to assume, of course. This one will be cool as a pay-per-view undercard. You know, considering the heavy puncher that Mbilli is, and considering Mungia got knocked out by a guy with five fucking KOs, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to handle the power from Mbilli. But if you guys remember, Christian Mbilli fought on the Canelo Crawford undercard, I believe it was, and put on quite a performance, which should have been the co-main event. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But regardless, and I wish, damn, let me pull up the guy's name because he deserves to. He deserves to have his name mentioned, really. Christian Mbilli's opponent from his most recent fight here. I'm going to pull it up here. But anyway, it ended up being a draw, of course, if you guys remember. There were talks of the fight happening. Lester Martinez. Thank you. Lester Martinez, Argentine boxer. There were talks that they were supposed to have a rematch. Actually, supposedly the WBC was going to request or I guess mandate a rematch because Mbilli is the WBC champ or interim WBC champ. But ultimately that didn't happen for whatever reason, and in steps Jaime Mungia. I'm down for this one. This is going to be a pretty fun fight, I think, for as long as it lasts, because I don't think it's going to go 12 rounds, and quite frankly, I don't think Mungia can take the power from Mbilli. But all right, this is good. This is talking for real. This is a really good undercard fight. This one, and hopefully maybe a co-main event, because we've seen how exciting Christian Mbilli can be, and we can see we have seen how Mungia can throw down. So this will be a great co-main event on a fight if they do it on a maybe like a major card. But not a bad fight, all right, for 2026, Mbilli and Mungia.
No, not at all. And if they were smart, they would bring Martinez back to see if he's legit, if he's the real deal. Was that a one-time war that he had with Mbilli, or could this guy be a new entertaining fighter for boxing? The reason why he didn't get the Mbilli fight is because Mungia and Mbilli is going to be a candidate for fight of the year. It's a very good pool that they're doing here. You got to put this thing on a pay-per-view, a big pay-per-view, give it a lot of exposure, and I think they're going to get a great success from these two matchups. Both guys, they're face first. They're going to be throwing down. You know, Mungia knows he's on the brink, right? Maybe it might be time. This is like a Barrera Morales moment for him, where Mexican media is saying he might be done as a fighter, as a pro, and he's going up against a young lion, undefeated lion coming up. I see fucking fireworks, bro. Love this matchup, and that's why I want to bring the Martinez kid back on the undercard. And you're talking about a huge fight card here with some exciting fighters. 3 of them that we know are ticket, good for your ticket prices. They're gonna show up and show out. Yes, sir. No copy.
This one.
No
And you finish. I don't know how many cups you go through on your average day, but it is almost 6 p.m. So maybe it's not a good idea to throw another one in there. I'm happy for this one. For the longest time, for as long as Mungia has been with Golden Boy, because remember, he's not with Golden Boy anymore. He's not with Top Rank. When he was with Golden Boy, every time he would fight, I'm like, all right, is he gonna fight a top guy? Is he gonna fight a top guy? And they start throwing these names, and I'm like, fuck, man, when are they gonna throw him into the deep end? A long time ago, we were saying Mungia should just go after fucking Triple G at this point. It would be a great name to have on his record, and Triple G's already on the way out. Do it, man. At this point, just throw him into the deep end. He needs to be there, reaching 40 some odd fights already, and it didn't happen. He got cashed out, I guess, finally with Canelo, and then he has this back and forth with Suras under the Top Rank banner, and now I'm like seeing him against Mbilli. Like, okay, fuck yeah. Top Rank is like, hey, this ain't Golden Boy, yo. We're not gonna keep protecting you. We're gonna throw you into the fucking deep end, and pow, you got yourself Mbilli here. I've been talking about Mungia and Plant and Berlanga and all these guys fighting one another, man. Like, I'm down for this, right? This is a pretty solid one. Granted, it's not Plant or fucking Berlanga, but I mean, damn, I wouldn't mind seeing Lester Martinez, right, and Mungia, or Resendiz and Mungia. Like there's this, even though the super middleweight division is kind of like clogged up with Canelo and Crawford, there's a lot of other guys that can put on some hella fucking good fights. I mean, let's not forget about Shiraz, right? He's there as well, but it's still a pretty stacked division. I know we talk a lot about the 154-pound division, and it is stacked, but 168 is not far behind. It really isn't. So I'm happy that this fight is going down. I'm finally happy that they're throwing Mungia in the deep end with the fucking Lions in here, because it's about damn time. He's got 40 some odd fights at this point. Like, he needs to be up there fighting these dangerous guys.
Yeah.
All right. So those are pretty much the fight announcements that we've seen. That essentially pretty much covers everything we wanted to talk about, because the major news was Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Anything else you wanted to toss in here before we call it a show?
Yeah, just to give you guys some more proof on how much Netflix can gain with Anthony Joshua. As of early 2025, the US Netflix subscriber is 70 to 80 million, bro.
Oh shit.
And they only have 17 million in the UK, and they're trying to bring one of the biggest fighters they can from out over there onto their network. Yeah, if I'm Jake, I'm a little bit nervous that you aren't the A side even when this thing kicks off. You know what I mean? Like, you might see Jake fake an injury here. He's like, no, I just want to fight Nate Diaz. And no knock to Nate, but I'm saying that Netflix is like, no, we really want Anthony.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're cool, Jake. You're cool. Did you sign him yet? And as soon as he signed, they're like, get the fuck out of here. Treat him like a girl you're about to break up with.
Yeah. They already smashed. You got what you wanted. You smashed.
You're always yelling at me now. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Your Uber's outside. Get the fuck out. God damn it.
Joshua's here.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jay Paul is like, are you sure you don't want? I could call Diaz right up, right? I got his number still. Like, no. Let's get the fuck out of here, please. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. Not big fights this weekend, but next weekend, and we're gonna be talking about it on Sunday, because that's fight week for the November 22nd card. Well, let me make sure I'm getting it right. Oh, yes. Okay, cool. I'll check on my calendar. So not this weekend, but this coming Sunday is going to be our Sunday show, which will be the I guess fight week for the Saudi Arabia card, right? That's going to be taking place on the 22nd with Benavidez and Yarde and Haney and Brian Norman Jr., etc., and Bam Rodriguez as well. So we're going to be going over that one on Sunday, because hell, it's fight week and we're going to be talking about it. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia, so just keep that in mind. It is going to be an early Saturday. Well, I should say Pacific Standard Time, early Saturday morning type of pay-per-view card. But it's going to be one of the pay-per-views that DAZN said we weren't going to have anymore, guys. So let's see how we watch that one this morning or next Saturday morning. But that pretty much covers it. Andrew, if you're all set, we are good to go. For my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapachet, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. We will see you guys on Sunday. Take care. Peace.